Golf Central on YouTube, brought to you by the Rogue ST Woods and Irons from Callaway.
On Tuesday, PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan held a previously scheduled meeting with all the players in the field at the Honda Classic. Greg Norman, chairman of Live Investments, the face of the Saudi-backed Super Golf League, was not present at the meeting but reacted to reports of what Monahan told the players. Norman wrote in a letter today to Jay Monahan, "Dear Commissioner Monahan, surely you jest, and surely your lawyers at the PGA Tour must be holding their breath. As has been widely reported, you have threatened the players on the PGA Tour, all of whom are independent contractors, with lifetime bans if they decide to play golf in a league sponsored by anyone other than the Tour. For decades, I have fought for the rights of players to enjoy a career in which they are rewarded fully and properly for their efforts. They are 1 in a million athletes, and yet for decades, the Tour has put its own financial ambitions ahead of the players, and every player on the Tour knows it. The Tour is the players' tour, not your administration's tour. Why do you call the crown jewel in all tournaments outside the majors the Players' Championship and not the administration's championship? But when you try to bluff and intimidate players by bullying and threatening them, you are guilty of going too far, being unfair, and you likely are in violation of the law. Simply put, you cannot ban players from playing golf. Players have the right and the freedom to play where we like. I know for a fact that many PGA players were and still are interested in playing for a new league in addition to playing for the Tour. What is wrong with that? Competition in all aspects of life, sport, and business is healthy, and the players deserve to be well compensated, which is why so many players have expressed an interest in playing in a new league. But when you threaten to end players' careers and when you engage in unfair labor practices with your web of player restrictions, you demonstrate exactly why players are open-minded about joining a league that treats players well, respects them, and compensates them according to their true worth. Commissioner, this is just the beginning. It certainly is not the end. Once again, Norman was not present at that meeting, the players' meeting in Palm Beach Gardens, and some players who were there had a slightly different interpretation of Monahan's message.
Jay was very adamant about his stance. You're either a PGA Tour player and you support the PGA Tour, and he didn't say DP World Tour, but obviously they're with us in a strategic alliance, so obviously they're part of the PGA Tour now. And so you're either with us or you're not with us. And if you don't want to be with us, you want to go somewhere else, then fine. He said, you're welcome to go out the door. We're not going to hold you hostage. Was the statement, I'm sure Jay, he mentioned that it was going to be a little bit different tone, but over what had happened the last few, 48, 72 hours, it had changed. Not going to say a softer tone, but, just a little bit more optimistic and positive. And I've always thought the PGA Tour and Jay and their stance have always been confident in whatever they do.
It was an emotional and passionate speech the commissioner made, just as you'd expect him to make.
What did you think was most impactful of what he shared?
I thought that his choice of words, they were careful and considered. He was very careful not to say anything about lifetime bans or banning people for life. He used different terminology. I think everybody's on their guard and trying to not put a foot out of place, really.
There's so much to unpack here, and we've been unpacking it for a couple of days now, a couple of weeks, really. Notice Lee Westwood, who has allegedly some connections with this proposed Super Golf League, saying flat out that the commissioner, Monahan, did not use the phrase lifetime ban. Greg Norman is asserting that he already has made such threats toward players, either in that meeting or before that meeting. So that you got a lot of different views as to what is actually going on here. First of all, in general, Norman and the letter, what was your thought when you read it?
I've had to reread it a few times. The things that really stuck out to me, Whit, were the beginning and the end. He started out by saying, surely you jest. And I'm pretty sure that Commissioner Monahan's not jesting. I can say that. He also then says right after that your lawyers must be holding their breath. I'm also pretty sure that he's getting a lot of very good high-level legal advice in terms of what he's doing. And then at the end of the letter, Greg says, this is only the beginning, not the end. And I think that says a lot, because really this is not the beginning. The Super Golf League idea has been around for quite a while, and they have been trying to make progress. And the fact is, they haven't had any tournaments yet. They haven't played any competitions. Whether or not they have players signed up, we're not exactly sure. But without any of that happening, if you're the commissioner of that proposed league, Greg Norman, what do? You pick a fight, is what he's decided to do. And I think he's probably correct in that he knows that the PGA Tour does not want to have a legal battle on their hands. It would not be a particularly good thing for the PGA Tour. If Greg really wants to institute change, I'm sure he must be thinking right now the way to do it is to pick a fight, and let's go ahead and get into some kind of a legal battle.
And it certainly seems like that's what he wants. I think from his perspective, it seems that he believes that going into some kind of a court battle benefits him and benefits this proposed Super Golf League. As a player, and I want to know if you agree with this, in my opinion, if you're a player and you get approached, the only question you have to ask yourself is, do you care where the money comes from? That's the question. Do you care where the money comes from? Because it is an enormous amount of money, more than a lot of these guys could possibly make if they stayed on the PGA Tour. Do you care where the money comes from? Is that the big question for a player?
I think it's a big one, but also there's a big question as to what is the product. I thought Xander Schauffele's statement was very intriguing yesterday, where he said, look, we decided, my team and I, to finally sit down and listen to what they had to say. I don't believe Xander did. I think the team did. But he said there was just nothing concrete. There wasn't any evidence of any tournaments. There wasn't any sign that this was actually going to happen. So, yes, there's a couple of issues. Where's the money coming from? But also, really, what is the product? Because there's no sign of it yet from a lot of these players' standpoint.
And I wonder if the Super Golf League thinking is, well, we get players signed up and then we can start talking about tournaments, whereas the players are saying, well, tell us what the tournaments are and then we'll think about signing up. Anyway, as Greg Norman said, it's not going away. It's definitely not going away.